Joining us on the Damage Report is one of the Democrats who has fled Texas to stop Governor Greg Abbott and the Republicans' Trump-directed gerrymandering plans. I believe coming to us from Chicago, Representative John Bucy III. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. You're in Chicago right now?
Yeah, that's correct. We've got our group here in Chicago. We've left the Capitol a couple days ago. We brought the fight to Chicago because it's an American fight, and we're standing up to Donald Trump and Greg Abbott. For those of you that don't know, they are trying to steal 5 congressional seats, and by doing that, they're going to rig the midterm elections and continue to cut healthcare and support for our public schools all across this country. So Texas Democrats are standing up and fighting back.
So we know we've been doing reporting on this. We know that there's a number of states that are talking about doing these sorts of gerrymandering, both in red states, and you have like Governor Gavin Newsom, I believe Governor Shapiro are starting to talk about it a little bit. But Texas is really the focal point of this right now. So for people who might not understand, why have the Democrats fled? What is the mission? What are you trying to accomplish, and how likely do you think it is that you'll succeed?
Look, Trump thinks that if you vote for him, then he's entitled to it forever, but he's wrong. Here's the deal. If they're going to cheat, we're not going to play, and we're going to fight back. That's why Texas Democrats are here. We don't have the votes alone to stop it, but we do have the Texas constitutional right to break quorum, something that we earned through our voters by having more than 50 people so we can stop a quorum in the Texas legislature, and we're using that tool. What we need to do right now is kill this special session. Greg Abbott is bending the knee to Donald Trump to try to steal these seats, and we're not going to let him get away with it. We've got 15 more days in this special, and we're going to kill it. And what we're also going to do is raise awareness to make sure that if they cheat and if they rig the system, then we need to be ready as Democrats to fight back. We're going to bring a knife to a knife fight. We're ready to take them on.
Good, I like to hear it. And I certainly have more thoughts about Greg Abbott. We'll get to that. But for right now, the tools that they're talking about using, and have already started to use, is civil arrest. Although you're outside of the bounds of the state, so I don't know exactly how that's supposed to work. I don't know if they've gotten Dog the Bounty Hunter on the phone or something.
They're coming for us.
They're coming for you, I don't know, watch out. And also they are talking about potentially trying to take away your elected positions and replace you, because Ken Paxton once wrote down that he thinks they can do it or something. So right now you're not in the state. Are you worried about either of those options perhaps being used against you?
I think you can see by my reaction, we're not worried about the weak, failed leadership of Greg Abbott or Ken Paxton. These are two people that have enough of their own worries to be concerned with than putting out bluster. If they were strong leaders, they wouldn't be bending over for Donald Trump. What they're doing is giving him exactly what he wants. We need people that stand up for Texans. If your listeners don't know, we had a massive flood. We had 137 Texans die. We had a cabin full of 8-year-old girls washed away in the middle of the night. That's an emergency worthy of our time. That's what we should be spending our time on, trying to help the people of Texas. But instead of doing that, Greg Abbott, who through executive order could help those families right now, is using this as a ploy to get us back to give Donald Trump what he can't earn on his own, and that is a Republican majority in Congress in the midterm election.
You know, Greg Abbott has been trying to, like he always does, talk big. Oh, he's an alpha male, silverback gorilla. You guys are shying away from a fight by leaving, when I've always felt like you fight on the best battlefield for it, and the best battlefield right now isn't in the state legislature because of the numbers. It seems to me that like if he was as brave as he says he is, then he would be looking forward to an open, free, and fair election with rational districts for the legislature. It seems like he's afraid of the will of the people to me. I don't know if you agree on that.
I couldn't agree more. This is a man with $86 million in his war chest, and he still can't stand up to Donald Trump. You think about great Texas leaders, Barbara Jordan, Lyndon Baines Johnson. We used to stand up for our state and tell people don't mess with Texas. And these guys have totally said, let's let a convicted rapist and we know a crook that's now in the White House come and tell us what to Texas. It's embarrassing. We have a lot more pride as Texas leaders than what Greg Abbott is giving us today.
I also think it's important that people, a lot of viewers probably have never lived in Texas. Actually, you represent part of North Austin. I actually lived in Austin for a number of years. It's a red state, but it has a lot of Democrats in it, a lot of progressives, a number of awesome cities, including Austin. So the idea that, in a state that goes like 56-42 in the presidential race, the Democrats should have 5 seats or something seems insane to me. And I wonder why they feel so emboldened to tell like 40+% of Texas, they don't deserve representation. That seems really anti-American to me.
Texas Republicans are incredibly skilled at taking away the voice of the people, filing anti-voting bills. I serve as the vice chair of the elections. I have for multiple terms now. So I see firsthand how willing they are to go strip of their rights. And that's what they're doing right now, because they know, and it starts at the top, that they're not popular. Look, Donald Trump's one of the most unpopular presidents in American history. He knows that by cutting health care for Americans, by hurting our public schools, by hurting our veterans, that he can't win on the merits. So they're doing what they were asked to do. They don't think for themselves anymore. If this was a priority, we would have taken this up in the regular session. They waited until Daddy Trump called them. They answered that call and they said, whatever you need, sir, we'll do it.
You know, I'm curious, I mentioned earlier that there's a lot of conversation about what other states should do. I'm just curious from your point of view, when Governor Newsom talks about potentially doing this in California, do you see that as helpful to the mission of you and your cohort who's left Texas, like talking about sort of evening the playing field by doing it in blue states?
Well, let me be clear. I'm against gerrymandering, period. I think we need to stop gerrymandering. We want to make sure that this doesn't happen. But I'm so in agreement that we have to fight fire with fire. And so if Donald Trump and Greg Abbott are going to break the system, Texas Democrats and Democrats from across this country, and frankly, Americans that love our democracy and the country we built for generations, need to stand up and fight back with every tool that we have. I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope that by having leaders, governor leaders of other states say they're willing to respond, hopefully that'll help us stop this from happening in the first place. Hopefully Greg Abbott will come to his senses and realize that he has turned his back on the people of Texas. He will then call a special session, join Texas Democrats at the table to come up with real solutions for the people of Texas instead of for Donald Trump. But if that doesn't happen, then yes, I want us to respond in kind and fight back.
Okay, and while that's happening, what can either other national Democrats, our viewers perhaps, like what could they be doing right now to help you and your group in this effort?
Look, we need to raise awareness. Texas Democrats are just the beginning. If they get away with this in Texas, then they're going to come to a state near you. This is an American issue, not a Texas issue. So don't let anyone say this is just a Texas thing, that's a red state, that's a Republican state. This is all of us. And again, if they steal 5 seats here, it only needs 1 vote to make a difference. And they will be able to control and continue to give Donald Trump what he wants. And we know he wants control of Congress. And I would too if I was him, having his name on the Epstein list. He needs to keep that protection, because if he doesn't, then the truth will come out. And so that's why he's doing this. That's why he's rigging the game.
That is a great point. That 1 vote you talk about could be the difference between investigations being launched, documents being requested, subpoenas being given or not. And so I think very wise to link that to that. Well, Representative, I appreciate what you're doing and especially making time to come on the show. We do appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for helping to tell this story. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed that, then make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming a member. So you're probably wondering, why would I do that? Well, when you do that, you get access to bonus content that I make every single week, and it's a lot of fun. You get custom emojis and more. If you join at tier 3, by the way, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself. And you'll get all that going forward, but you'll also unlock years of the back catalog that is literally 100 or more bonus clips and top 10 lists and debates and more. So what are you waiting for?